Okay, we're back. Part two with the White Girl Bleed a Lot interview with Marlin Newburn. This is Colin Flaherty. We're talking about personal responsibility. Marlin Newburn's a psychologist, a prison psychologist, retired, a 30-year career in and out of the courts, in and out of the prisons. He's pretty much seen it all, done it all. And we're talking about hoodlums, how they won't take responsibility. We're talking about, no, I'm not going to, I caught myself using a euphemism here. I write about black crime, black on white crime, black mob violence, and that's what we're talking about here today. And it seems, so you were talking about personal responsibility, and we were talking about how, do you think white people are generally aware of the amount of racial hostility that is directed at them?
No, they are not. Not at all. It's when the felon comes in, a black felon hits prison, and I was able to ask him there because you have literally a captive audience. What is it about white people that you don't like? Why do you automatically hate them? A lot of these inner city black people, young black guys, have never been around whites, really. And the common standard response, they keep our people down. They're just sock puppets with the liberal mantra of racism. And what's that one there? Racism's everywhere. The ones that Asians destroy every day by their productivity and their civility.
Theory. White racism's everywhere. White racism is permanent. White racism explains everything.
Yeah, that's it. Boy, then you don't have to own it. Black communities are places of stigma-free living. They are. It's nobody's fault. No matter how many blacks kill other blacks, they can go ahead and pull the trigger, but it's not their fault. They have a license to do it. I mean, if nobody's going to say no, it's,
you know. What you saw every day, both as a court-appointed psychologist and as a prison psychologist.
Yeah.
Just a few days ago in Orlando, Florida, they had 1,000 black people rush a movie theater. They were playing the movie. Selma was playing there. And then they kicked them out of the movie theater. The people went into the parking lot where they fought police, where they attacked other shoppers. They went into a convenience store. They looted the store, attacked the clerks. And so that is what it is, right? I mean, these are criminals. That is what it is. But then we get to the media report, and I've documented 20 examples of black mob violence in malls in the last 2 months. Last 2 months, I did 12 days of Christmas, right? 12, at 12 malls. And, but here's the thing, the reporters, they look at the camera, and I swear we ought to give them an Academy Award for some of these performances. They look in the camera and they pretend they didn't notice that every single one of those 1,000 people at this riot, which they don't call a riot, is black. And if they did notice, it has no significance. What do we know about people that are ignoring this kind of reality so much?
This is the enabling culture that black people are the one of the protected groups. Even Eric Holder said they were, and they're a protected group, and they're not to be held accountable.
It's funny how they use that exact expression.
What's that?
They're protected.
Yeah, they use it. This is a protected group. Their idea of protection is enabling. And the fact is, there is no one thing about a black criminal. A lot of black criminals are like this, but remember now, any kind of empathy for their victims is considered a weakness. And some white criminals, that's true. It's pervasive among black criminals. Brutality is honored among them. It shows them what a man they are, how tough they are. To be completely, for instance, when you ask them, what about the woman you raped? It could be a black woman. And they'll say, what about her? I think I should get out. The cops lied. I said, did you do it or not? Well, yeah, but they lied. That's why I got extra time. My lawyer was crappy. He was no good. They use another word beside crappy. They don't care about who they hurt.
Okay, so here's
the media and the race hustlers have created monsters.
So we get the media, and they're focusing on this innocent angel that couldn't have done whatever. Black comedians do bits about this. Cat Williams, he does a bit about this black criminal that goes up to a white person and he's being chased. He goes, "Oh, can you help me out? The cops are after me." And the white person, of course, immediately assumes the black person is 100% innocent, takes him into his house.
Exactly.
While he's doing this bit, the black audience is howling, howling with laughter at this idiot that basically believes this con artist. Yeah. Now, so what do we know about, what could we say about the reporters that constantly just refuse to connect the dots, refuse to tell the truth, refuse to say anything about this level of black on white resentment, hostility, and violence?
Well, political correctness keeps them from being honest. It keeps them reporting the truth. And frankly, they'll probably lose their jobs if they report the truth. It's the unwritten rule. Maybe it is written somewhere. Thou shalt not report on blacks.
It's funny
when they destroy a community.
Because I did a story on that this summer, and it's in my next book, Don't Make the Black Kids Angry. It's about the Society of Professional Journalists. How they did an article about Thomas Sowell wrote a big column about White Girl Bleed a Lot. So they did an article on that column. And the question was, well, how do we report this? So my story was, well, that's easy. Don't. Because the SPJ all over the country, they have seminars on how to do this. Basically, you don't. But it's funny. I went to look at the board of directors and the employees of the SPJ in Indianapolis. Not one black person on the board. Not one black person employed at their headquarters. Yeah. So it is very much of a written thing that that this is how you report black violence. But here's I'm sorry to keep blabbing here, but you said something that one of my editors, Thomas Lifson of American Thinker, he said a media source that does not tell the truth is committing suicide. So it's like a reporter will commit suicide by telling the truth about black mob violence. But the media site is committing suicide by not telling the truth about it. So it's funny how we got all these different forces.
Oh, yeah, that's right. And it's legitimized in the media. I mean, and it doesn't matter. Even conservatives will gloss over the truth. They will not say it. Once in a while, there'll be a brave person step forward and say, look, it's a problem among blacks. They've been excused for too long. We're killing them. There's even a book out by a black conservative who said, please stop helping us.
Yeah, that's, what's his name? Jason Riley, maybe? Or the Wall Street
right. Yep, that's him.
Yeah.
I haven't read the book, but I read the reviews so far. And
well, that kind of reminds me of the book you told me about, that pathological altruism.
Pathological altruism, when helping kills others. Sick helping, that's what that means.
It's when you do hear them, the liberals talk about helping people. They're always talking about them, how it makes them feel to help somebody.
Precisely.
Like the consequences of what they do are not relevant whatsoever. And as long as you try, that's the only thing. But apparently that doesn't turn out that well.
No, it never does. Matter of fact, they never reach into their own pocket, frankly. The fact is they don't have to experience the consequences of their largesse, of their altruism. The thing is, I teach part-time at a university here in Michigan. And one of the things I tell the students is always consider this. If you're going to help someone, never legitimize their self-destructive behavior, never support their self-destructive behavior, and don't tell them anything that will perpetuate their destructive behavior.
Wow.
You're going to be the messenger of bad news at times. What's the worst word you could ever tell a pre-adolescent and a drug addict and an alcoholic? No, you can't. Police officers in the black community are the first real adults black criminals run into. Young black males, the cop is the first adult.
Now, the cops are the problem.
There's
the memo says that police community relations are poor, and that means too many white cops catching too many black people breaking the law. So that you didn't get that memo?
No, I didn't get that memo. It's a policeman will show up and say,
adults.
Yeah, while somebody is robbing someplace. Also, remember, the criminal, operates from whatever rule he wants to get what he wants. But criminals, especially chronic felons, insist everybody else obey rules.
Except
they obey rules. In other words, if you're going to be a policeman and you arrest me, you better be nice to me. Don't call me a scumbag. Don't call me a name. Don't put the handcuffs on too tight because you're mean. Remember, cops know this. They're arresting a pre-adolescent. Cops know that. But when the same thug who probably set some woman on fire or an enemy or somebody they just didn't like, and they run him down, they capture him, all of a sudden that cop is held to an incredibly high, almost impossible level of conduct. Please be nice to me while you're arresting me. Don't put the handcuffs on too tight. Don't call me a name. You call me a name, I'll tell my attorney, and he'll embarrass you in court because you called me a scumbag. It's the most childish rants they come up with. Even when they're in prison. That cop gave me a concussion, you know that, and I'll read the court report, read the police record, and they fought with a policeman, shot at him even. But finally, when they were tackled and taken to the ground, they didn't like it. So they want to sue the cops and sue the city and sue the, you know.
So you use the term infantilize. They're infants and pre-adolescent. How does the whole entitlement culture that we have created for them, how does that play into that?
Oh, completely. When you know you do not have to put out an effort, you don't have to change. I mean, let's face it, the common knowledge among civilized people is if you're going to have a legitimate job, you have to have a personal code of conduct. You got to grow up. Stop whining, complaining. Get up in the morning, go to work every day, come home, pay your taxes, all this sort of thing. As a child, what is a pre-adolescent? They want to do whatever they want to do. If you provide them with the necessary daily functioning in life, necessaries, there's no incentive for them to grow up. And they're surely not going to get up in the morning and go to work. Of course, if you tell them to do that, they'll say, the pay is not enough. It's that entitlement thing. Since I'm here, they're so narcissistic because pre-adolescents are naturally narcissistic. I'm so wonderful, you should give me a real high level of pay. I might not know anything. You still should give me a lot of money.
So if
the idea of earning is just absolutely anathema to them.
So if on top of that entitlement culture, we now layer on this world that you're the only reason you're down, the only reason you're not getting what you want, what you're entitled to, you're entitled to more, is because of white racists like Colin Flaherty. I mean, how does that play out?
The fact is, they know they're never going to be held accountable. Look at with both Brown and Martin, the two street thugs that got killed.
Michael Brown, Trayvon Martin, right?
Yeah, Trayvon Martin, correct.
So hold on, the guys that are, practicing this thuggery, smoking dope, beating people up, stealing stuff, challenging police, fighting police,
living large.
They're living large. They are aware that they have lots of liberty because the white culture, whatever, big bad guys like me cannot hold them responsible.
Of course, that's the liberal thought. We try to hold them responsible, so they have to act out and get high. It sounds insane, of course.
Yeah, look up at the camera. So all your all your all your admirers can see you.
Yeah, it's they're doing, but you also notice another sick part of the problem that the media perpetuates. When the parent or parents of these thugs are put on television, they are given all consideration, open mic support, group hugs, everything else, and they are supported in the evil, wicked, mean, nasty police that they're or person defending themselves. They demonize. They get help demonizing people defending themselves.